Hi, Fee and Adrian. I am excited to speak with you both today.
It's great to be here, Andrew. Thanks for inviting us along. We can't wait.
Yeah. Hi, Andrew. Thank you for the invite.
I'm excited for this as well. We all three are Gary Vaynerchuk fans. And I'd love to hear, how did you end up on that webinar with Gary that brought us to our podcast today?
Well, I have to declare track record here. So I'm good friends with Andrea Sullivan, who is Gary's CMO. And we often talk about Gary's program of events and what he's doing, but we've also had some good interaction with VaynerMedia around Web3 stuff, NFTs. I've had the pleasure of having dinner with Gary a few times in one of his collective salons, if you like, where we talk about the near and present things going on in marketing. So I've been in and around the Vayner universe for a while, and it's never dull. It's always fun, and it's always up to the moment. And I think any conversation you have, you're always left thinking about something. So it's always great value.
Are you a VFriend holder?
No, I'm not. No.
Have you been to VCon, or is that on the bucket list for 2024?
That is definitely, I actually, again, I kind of live it a little bit with Andrew and a team who create it, and I can always tell when VCon's coming along and when she's landed a great speaker and all that good stuff as well. So yeah, it's something that I'm always aware of because they put so much work into it, and they also try to make it unique and very different, and not like a lot of the other sort of boring talking shops that you could spend your time at. They're always pushing on the edges, and I really love that.
How about yourself? What brought you to that webinar that morning?
Yeah, just through the connection with Fee, I know she's, connected with Andrea, and she just mentioned it would be a good opportunity to hop on and connect with other marketers and just see, what everyone is up to in the industry. So yeah, it was great too. We connected with you through it, so it was great to connect with some people in the industry.
I'd love to hear a little bit about your organization, CoinZoom. So if both of you could share your role at the organization and maybe the inspiration for joining it in the first place.
Okay, so I've been doing the rounds of fintech for a while now. So, I've got a bit of PayPal and Venmo and Robinhood in my background. I've been all through the years, right? For many, many years, money and technology has always been in my sort of DNA. And I don't like doing things that have been done before. So that's going to a new frontier, no rule book, adoption markets, looking for people as to what is their why. Those have always intrigued me. So, back in the day, I worked for BlackBerry when it was a thing. We got involved with the first ever in-flight interaction stuff with Virgin Interactive on airplanes, and that was through the gaming industry. So lots of things that have started, and of course crypto. My first incarnation with crypto was back at PayPal when we were starting to think about it. Got involved with the Libra to DM rebranding at the world of Meta. And then Robinhood obviously are very much into the crypto world. So I was kind of walking deeper and deeper. And then when I met the guys at CoinZoom, so many wonderful product things going on using the blockchain to the fullest. Tiny little business to start. So it's that we get to write the story, which I think is a real privilege for a marketer. And I think also, one of the things, the crypto world can sometimes be very inviting, but it can also be very excluding. It has a very strong culture. And I think one of the beliefs at CoinZoom is, this democratizing and this creating access and seat at the table. And, we have some the free international P2P product, which again could be a game changer in the world. So those sorts of things, you want to spend your time doing something that, will be good for you, good for everyone around you, and perhaps have a positive impact all around. So that's what got me to CoinZoom. Lovely bunch of people as well. I think that's worth saying too, is that to work with people you really like, it's also it's a great way to jump out of bed in the morning.
And what's your official title at CoinZoom?
I'm officially CMO. But
Awesome.
we're a very small team. So when I think of it, it's chief of the consumer experience, it's chief of the getting the posts out there. Adrianne specializes in all the sort of communication and the content side. So she's our real sort of arch storyteller. And then what I'm trying to do is link all the bits together. And we're at the very start of our journey of, building out a marketing tech stack and all of those other things that, bigger companies have whole teams doing, but we're just getting going on that.
So Adrianne, I'd love to hear, what inspired you to join CoinZoom, instead of marketing, this is a white, like most bland coffee cup in the world. So why are you at CoinZoom versus wanting to market a product like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly because of the people initially, what drew me in. So our CEO, Todd, I had worked for him at a previous company. And I have a little bit more of a varied background. I've been on the agency side, I've been with nonprofits, I've been with big corporations. And the original company I worked for with Todd was a startup. And I just really loved the opportunity to wear so many hats and kind of like, as Fee said, like you get in early, you get to tell your own story and kind of grow it from the ground up. And so I've really been with CoinZoom since the beginning. Before I officially came on board, I was doing some freelance work for Todd just to kind of help them get their mostly communication. So I mostly, like Fee said, on the communications content side. So I was kind of helping them get that up and running. And then I joined full time in 2020. And so the whole crypto world was pretty new to me. I didn't know a ton about the industry, a little bit of experience in fintech, but since joining, I've kind of got to learn what the power of the blockchain can do. And like, as Fee said, we're a very inclusive brand. I feel like crypto can feel a little bit exclusive, or like maybe if you're not a certain demographic, it's not for you. But I think the way that we've kind of built CoinZoom is really interesting in that crypto and blockchain can bring benefits to so many people. So that's kind of what has kept me around, and working with such great people. Like Fee said, we have a lot of fun also, which is great.
I've heard from other marketers in the Web3 space saying marketing in Web3 is radically different than marketing in Web2, Web1. Can you share why and how Web3 is different?
Yeah, I think of it as a one-way door. Once you go into the Web3 world, and depending on how far you get into it, you don't want to come back. So quite often,
why is that?
Well, because there's so many riches ahead of you, and it's all things you haven't seen before, and you're also very self-determined in it. So you're not the product, and you also get a lot of choices about how you want to show up there, who you want to be, and what you're really there for. So it's a world of like-minded individuals, if you like. So what we find was we did a gaming activation in the new year, and what we found was the people who've already gone over to the Web3 side, they're not interested in ease of use for the people who want to go through that door, the Web2 to Web3 journey. They just want it to be all within crypto or within the network. They have a handle on all the language and the jargon, and they want to be talked to in those terms. And that's why, to some extent, we say, it can be a little sort of, looks like there's these cool kids over here and I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. So, but as a marketer, you've got to recognize they've already gone over. So they need their own ecosystem and environment and their own oxygen. And then you also have that sense that, okay, how do we bring people over so they can have their first step and go through the door? And then you're getting into the world of ease of use. How do I make it really understandable? How do I manage their risk aversion? Or what is the promise of what happens on the other side? So that's more of the sort of adoption piece, but it is intricate, and I think also it's an early world. So you've got the intrepid, you've got the as we know in crypto, you've also got the people who might be there for nefarious reasons, and then you've got the curious and those who just want to learn at their own pace. So it's quite a diverse need states. And it's hard to pitch it right as well. Some things are very simple. So when we were when we were doing this activation, it was an NFT activation. One of the biggest drivers was just putting on Google Pay and Apple Pay on your phone so you could instantly get your digital token, your asset. That was a great thing for Web2, Web3, but all the guys who'd already gone crypto weren't interested in that. They just wanted to play with their HBAR, you know, so they were already, why can't we just do this? And why can't we just do that? You know, that's the world that they were already used to.
What do you think is,
Yeah.
go ahead, Adrian, if you want to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's just such a heavy educational component to it. It feels like, you know, there's a lot of people who are interested, but maybe a little nervous, or, you know, they've never entered the world of crypto before. And so it's really just being mindful about walking people through the journey and making sure, you know, kind of holding their hand along the way and helping them feel comfortable, at least for the audience who hasn't kind of stepped into this world yet. But then, as you mentioned, you know, you have the folks who are already steeped in this world, so you kind of have to create two different experiences and make those both work for each audience. So that can be a challenge for sure.
Can you share some examples of the education that CoinZoom is providing? And I'll give an example going back to Gary and VCon. I couldn't go to VCon last year because of my wedding. Couldn't convince my bride that I need to go to VCon in some tight moments of getting organized. But I remember there was even knowing I couldn't go, but still this barrier for me of like, oh, this is going to be such a pain to figure this out versus I'm used to just Ticketmaster, like one click. And I remember they said they'll hold your hand and do whatever you need to walk you through the entire process of getting stuff and set up in MetaMask, buying this. And I just felt this sigh of relief of like, oh, good. Now I don't need to figure this out on my own. Someone's going to help me. But in your own case, how are you providing some education or even hand-holding to your community?
So we've had a number of things where it's, you know, a mass market problem, not a, you know, a crypto problem, and even not a tech forward problem. So elements like, you know, our relationship with the Utah Jazz, when we did our first activation with those guys, there were QR codes on the back of every seat. So again, in the downtime at the match, you know, while you're waiting, the natural thing, and this was post-COVID, so we'd all got used to just scanning all the QR codes around us, right? And that experience had to be really easy for whoever was sitting in the seat. You know, they couldn't make any assumption that people understood where the QR code journey would go. And sometimes it's just an offer off, you know, something on a concession stand, or sometimes, you know, they may be offering some NFT based merchandise or whatever. But the fact is the empathy's got to be for the audience. Similar thing as I was saying with the gaming crowd is that connecting what you've already got habits around on your smartphone is the easiest way to help somebody get from A to B. When we looked at, you know, some of the NFT processes that they go through, you set up a MetaMask wallet, then you go back and buy a digital asset, and then you want to make sure that your digital asset, you know, can speak to, you know, the right formats if you want to resell, etc. 13 and 14 steps in that process, and not clear where you're going to do KYC, or if you're going to do KYC, know your customer stuff, if you're actually going to have to verify and do your selfie and all that good stuff. So so that can be, you know, even for the really, really resilient, that can be hard work. And what we will look to do is to say, okay, do we have to do this at this point? Do we need to, you know, is this the right time to tell us your social security number or to get out your ID? Or at this point is the most important thing that you feel like you're making progress, you know, you've got through into the app, you know, where you're in the right place, the experience is joined up, so you're not moving between 4 or 5 different environments, which is another problem. Unfortunately, you know, in the world where scammers and bad actors and all of this, you know, do try to intercept people who are trying to do something simple, we've got to make sure that we can build trust and safety throughout those things. So one of the things that I'm very clear about is I have my scam alert on really high and just say, that looks like you moved from a good place to a bad place. So we have to make sure that, you know, we're helping everybody, not just hold their hand, but not walking them into danger either, that they really feel safe, that they're in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time.
Is there anything else, Adrian, you wanted to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we put a lot of effort into making like some really quick videos that if someone does get stuck, it will walk them through the exact process. We have an amazing like customer experience team that is always on hand to help people who get stuck or if they have questions. So those are some of the things that our brand is invested in a lot in.
I want to, with this next question, go back in time and then go forward. So I'd love to hear, what was a 2023 marketing challenge you experienced and how did you overcome it? And then what is a 2024 marketing opportunity that your team is planning on?
So if you ask anyone in the crypto world, what was the challenge in 2023, and they'll just say 2023, right? The whole year, it was a cold year for us in the crypto highlands. And for us, I think we had to work in very low investment environment. So a lot of that is your sweat equity, your beg, borrow, and steal. So we were using a lot of data research and insights from some of our bigger colleagues who were very good. And, category wise, we were doing a good job of talking about what's going on, celebrating the good players, analyzing with a realistic tone what was going on with the trauma in the industry, etc. And also a lot of help from our, from the agencies and from service providers in giving us some free and some guidance and some support so that we could keep going. And for us, we turned our challenge really into the world wasn't going crypto in the same way that it was in 2021. So how can we deepen the relationship with the customers we already have, and B, how can we help people who perhaps their exchange had some problems, or they might have lost access to deposits or something within their environment. So we were trying as much as possible to build as many bridges as we could, to do it on a very low cost platform, and also to make sure that our own customers felt really happy, safe, and clear that they were getting a good product. And we saw some good results from that. There was we have remittances, we have cash deposits and various different things that you can do on the platform. We also have a crypto reward debit card, where you can basically, it's a zero risk way to start your crypto journey. Instead of getting 1 or 2 or 3% back on your cash and your utilities and your groceries, you get your rewards in crypto. And you can build up a nice little position without ever having to go to an exchange or to understand too much about what's going on. And we found that was really appealing to a lot of people who themselves, not huge household incomes. Our average household income is around $75,000. Young people with side hustles, people without regular incomes, who would perhaps get a little dump of cash here and there and turn it into a bit of crypto. We even saw gig workers who would take a bit in cash, take a bit in crypto. So it was really interesting to see how the customer themselves were changing their own habits, through a tougher economy and a higher inflation economy, etc. So that was 2023. I think, we all see a much more positive market. So 2024, I think, getting ready to come out of the blocks hot, and perhaps get back into the world of acquisition again, as more people are watching Bitcoin as an asset class, but also blockchain technology stuff. We're seeing much more interest. Obviously, the big financial guys are getting in on the act now with Bitcoin ETFs, so that's going to be a major driver for adoption and basically a sense that it's growing up. We're now getting to the place where the good companies, the compliant, the regulated companies are here, and the market's going to take on a new wave of maturity and respectability, I think. So I think that's that. On the content side, I'll let you talk about that, Adrianne, but it's been interesting that we've had some real hits on the content side, and we've had some and we've been able to see the difference, which has been good.
Yeah, I think something we did really well this year on the content side was kind of pull out our key differentiators and the whole, trust and safety aspect, as we saw a lot of exchanges, run into trouble and implode this past year. I think we've done really well in resonating that we are regulated, we do things by the book, you can feel secure when you use our platform. So that was kind of a big focus for us this year, and I think it's something we executed on very well, and kind of activating our customer base and getting them to kind of adopt some more of our services that they don't typically use. So that was a lot of the work we did this year too, that I think we saw some success there, which was great.
Adrianne, have you been investing a lot in Discord?
We kind of are newly into Discord. We have a VIP group of our customers, and that's where we use it mostly, is to engage with that group. We kind of made it feel more exclusive, invite only for this group of customers we kind of handpicked. But we're looking to use Discord more down the road for sure.
Why would you say people in Web3 have gravitated towards Discord so much over whatever other community management platform might be out there?
It's a good question, because we've seen it with our partners as well. Our partners have been Discord users, and what's interesting is it's again, it's very individualistic. People show up as themselves. They're not trying to be something else or project a lifestyle or, hey, aren't I great? It's very much the authentic self. And we've had some of our best feedback from customers on Discord, just because they've let go and gone for it, or because, they're crowdsourcing a solving of a problem, or they actually just get super excited. So the work we did with Lethos over the Ashfall artworks for, game design, etc. These are the guys who were behind Last of Us, and we did a gaming activation in the beginning of the year. Their Discord channel was really lively. It was really well managed. They had a brilliant person who was absolutely in the mix. Her name was Catty, and she was fantastic. And did the gentle nudging that sometimes you need, or behave yourself, or that sort of stuff, but also was really simpatico with the crowd. And so, we've had some great interactions. I think Discord isn't trying to be something else, and also it's trying to sell you. You go to the place where your tribe are, or where your interest is and your passion is, and you just show up as yourself. And at this moment in time, nobody's trying to monetize that. So I think it's actually a very genuine platform.
Yeah, it also, I think it feels very like real time, like, crypto moves fast, and it just feels like Discord, it's always on. You can always catch somebody, you can always get a conversation going in real time. So I think that's kind of the draw for the crypto crowd as well.
Yeah, when I miss a day of not checking into Gary's Discord, I miss like 1,500 messages. So that thing is just going nonstop. But to wrap this up today, I'd love to hear, ways to learn more about CoinZoom, ways to follow up with you. Can you share any links, social media channels, best ways to stay in touch?
Yeah, social media channels, we are Get CoinZoom on Twitter, and just plain CoinZoom on Instagram. Our LinkedIn is also Get CoinZoom, I believe. So all those channels, you can check us out. Anything else, V? Our website is just www.coinzoom.com. So
yeah, and you'll see us on Threads, and we're where the customers are to some extent, but again, there's a bit of diversity around crypto crowds. So Discord would have much more to say about crypto in those sorts of environments, versus the Instagrams and the Facebooks and stuff is much more of the broader remittance free P2P product and that. We're learning along with everybody else. I think it's interesting. We had to explain to people that we don't all live together in the Bahamas. That's not who we are as a business. And crypto, unfortunately for the masses, the high visibility stuff is not the best stuff. Often,
right? I'm sure as well. The whole FTX debacle was another challenge you had to face with no fault of your own.
Yeah, and that the whole industry. I mean, we I guess we had two defining moments. FTX was one, and then the bank collapse in the new year had a very serious effect on the industry.
I was
Because
thinking about that earlier today. Was Silicon Valley Bank really in 2023? That seems like so long ago, but holy crap, that was just the start of the year. That was yeah, I can't believe that happened this year.
yeah. So so not only did it come at us at the top of the funnel, if you like, with the whole FTX news things, then it came at us in our infrastructure with banking and various things who are just getting money onto the platform, and not just us, obviously everybody, and Silvergate and all those guys that are involved in that. But say the resilient go through, we just carried on building. You know, we worked on our app, and we carried on building, and we, as I say, we used wit and ingenuity to make up for a lack of dollars. And we're still standing, which is great. And not just that, 2024 is going to be fun. It's going to be the good type of crypto fun, which we're looking forward to. So
Awesome. Well, let's end it on that. And Fee and Adrian, thank you so much for your time today. It's greatly appreciated.
absolutely. No, thank you so much.
Andrew.
Yeah.